Guy writes this post. He says, I'm 35, divorced after 14 years, absolutely no game. So, where does game come from? Well, game can be in the form of really just getting to the outcome or being able to be playful. And so, where does that come? It's like it comes from a mindset of, hey, I can walk away from the situation and mean it. And you might be wondering, like, well, how does that even apply at all to like talking? Well, it's like you're approaching it with that mindset. And so it's like when you have that mindset, it's almost like you're not attached to this other person. And so when you're not attached, then it almost like eliminates that guard you have over like being polite or if they don't like me or not. And when you eliminate that, then all of a sudden you start coming up with better things, better comebacks. And what I see is often guys that are considered have like no game, they're too attached or they're too, attached to the outcome of getting her on a date. It's kind of like, well, you have like a take it or leave it attitude because that comes from a place of value in yourself. And that value in yourself and that confidence you display through that mindset is really what really attracts her. And you owning yourself, all those things really attract her. And so let's see. So some actual examples as far as like the kind of how you should kind of follow this. So like game can be considered like maintaining a little bit of mystery. And so like if she asks you obvious questions, then you might come up with a playful response that's like not even related. So especially you'll see things like, oh, she asks you like, hey, what kind of car do you drive? You ask her like, you say, what do you mean? I ride a bike or something like that. Or, just like, that's not the best example, but it's like, have that playful mentality when you're going about that. Another thing is don't tell her everything. So it's like when she is trying to like dig for information, you don't give her everything. You don't just be this open book where it's like, oh, this happened in my life. This is my whole life story. It's like you give her what she wants, but then leave some details kind of a mystery so she can dig for that information. Because once she gets digging, she's working for you, meaning she's working to figure you out. And when she has to do that, her attraction raises. It almost maintains, again, kind of that sense of mystery. And so that's really what you want to do as far as game. But also game can be in the form of just getting to the outcome in as few steps as possible. So it's like once you understand her attraction is there, then you can basically set a definite date. You're like, hey, I'd love to get to dinner with you. When are you free to get together? She gives you a day, you set a location, a time, you lock it in, and then you're done. And it's like, that is game. It's like getting to the outcome in as few steps as possible, because what that's going to communicate is that you are in your masculine, you're in your certainty, you know what you want, you getting action, you're taking action towards what you want. You're not like all basically the majority of other guys that are just kind of like, oh, well, if I just get her number, and then if I just talk to her for like a couple weeks, and then we get to know each other, then maybe I can get to a date. It's like, no, just eliminate all that, get to the point. And when you do that, when you're decisive, it's more of a masculine quality. It's more attractive to her. She's going to be like, whoa, I've never had anyone ask me out like that, and be that direct and that confident in themselves. And so that also kind of, supplements is what I was thinking of, but it's like supplements kind of your game quote. So don't take this too seriously. Go back to that mindset. One more kind of reminder is like being able to walk away and mean it. And so you're not attached to that other person. And then just approach women. So that sometimes is like a fear factor with some guys. It's like that initial approach. And so you want to approach it with the outcome, not of getting her on a date or getting her number. It's like, again, just don't get attached to that, because that creates fear. It's like even like goal setting, even like it's like why does that goal setting creates fear? So it's like you have what you want, but also you have that fear. But sometimes when we're going just for the goal, and it's like we don't always get it, versus when we're just like in the moment and in the process, then we often find ourselves getting the outcome. It's almost like a flow, if that makes sense. But you want to approach it like, hey, I'm just going to read her attraction level. If her attraction level is there, then I will set a definite date, or that gives me an opportunity, or I'm really just reading that because she's going to invite me what action to take. And so she's going to be like, playing with her hair. She's going to be looking at your eyes. She's going to be smiling. She's going to be enthusiastic. Her tone of voice sometimes is faster. Maybe she initiates physical contact, maybe she even puts herself in your proximity before that. And it's obvious she's putting herself in your proximity. She's asking you questions, maybe that are kind of engaging, and maybe you do like a name test. So you say, hey, what's your name? She gives you her name. Does she ask your name in return? Because if she's asking you questions, she's more interested in you. It's just another signal that you can kind of add up. And then once you add up enough things, when she's telling you to ask her out, and then you do it.